I get a lot of questions about the use of faceted crystals and wind chimes in Feng Shui. Some people even believe that these objects may possess some magical powers, and if you hang your crystal here and wind chime there, you will have a good Feng Shui. In this video, I would like to uncover the truth about crystals and wind chimes and talk about what they are and what they are not, and most importantly, how to use them correctly. Let me start by saying that faceted crystals do not possess any magical powers. However, they do have a special quality, the ability to refract light. Because they are faceted, they act like little prisms, splitting regular white light into its components, which are the colors of the rainbow. This dispersion of light occurs because a prism has an angular shape, and this is pure physics. You need sunlight to hit the prism in order to achieve this effect. Regular room light is not sufficient. You agree that we are attracted to rainbows and shiny things. There is something about it. We love shiny things. This is why we love diamonds, for example. They have similar properties as a regular glass prism. They are faceted little prisms that refract light, and this is why they shine. Okay, what does it have to do with Feng Shui? In Feng Shui, we often want to uplift and activate the energy in certain rooms or certain areas of the Bagua to activate corresponding aspects of our lives. I like to work with the right furniture, colors, artwork, plants, and decor choices. Good Feng Shui relies on these elements. However, sometimes we are not in a position to redesign the entire room, yet we can still create a quick energy uplift. We can use an inexpensive, easy, fast energy booster, so hanging a crystal in the window achieves this. It activates the energy in the room and uplifts your spirit. It's not a magic, it does not substitute for a good Feng Shui design, but it's fun and beautiful, especially if the crystal moves a little bit. Sometimes if you open the window, it catches a little wind and moves. In some Feng Shui books, they totally miss the point and tell you to hang crystals anywhere to disperse negativity or stagnant energy, like in dark corners or hallways, even effects of clutter. However, the magic or physics in the case of faceted crystals only happens when the sun shines on them. So it doesn't make sense to hang them anywhere else but in windows. Even hanging them in northern windows is useless, as the sun will never shine on them. Therefore, the conclusion is that crystals do not disperse negative energy, but they are great activators of energy when placed correctly. Sorry guys, you still need to clear your clutter. To activate energy in specific aspects of your life, place a crystal in corresponding windows. Southeast for prosperity, southwest for relationships, southern for fame, and so forth. Utilizing the Bagua energizes Chi energy in designated directions. It also fosters a mental connection with the desired manifestation, increased wealth, improved relationships, vibrant health, and so on. Intention plays a crucial role in manifesting our desires. However, sometimes it's just enjoyable to simply place a crystal in a window of the room where you spend time. I guarantee you'll get some joy out of it. You don't need any expensive Swarovski crystals. $5–7 glass crystal works just fine. 40 or 50 millimeter crystals are a good size. I like to hang them on a clear fishing line, but make sure that it's long enough that sun can reach it. I take them down and wash them once a year. They work better when they are clean and clear. Sometimes, instead of hanging a crystal, I like placing a crystal lotus flower on a windowsill so the sunlight can reach it. It has a similar effect, but it doesn't fill the entire room with rainbows like crystal does. It's more localized. I think it's nice to place a few of them in the appropriate windows to boost energy or just for fun. Let's talk about wind chimes now. How do they work and what's their purpose? The ones that are used in Feng Shui are made of hollow metal tubes. When the wind gently strikes these tubes, they produce melodious and harmonious sounds like a musical instrument. This phenomenon is rooted in physics. Sound is a form of energy. As sound waves propagate through space, they change the quality and alter the energy. So there are different frequencies of sound. Some of the frequencies are harmonious and some are not. Different sizes of the tubes produce different tones or different frequencies of sound. Larger tubes create deeper or lower frequency sound. Shorter and smaller tubes produce higher frequencies. Different people like different tones and respond to different frequencies. So when you buy a wind chime, even online, you can listen to their tone. On Amazon, they have sound recordings. The sound waves generated by wind chimes interact with the surrounding energy, changing and dispersing stagnant or negative energy. The purity of the sound brings a sense of joy, vitality, harmony, and relaxation, depending on the wind chime's tones. Additionally, the movement of the wind chimes further activates the energy, making them a pretty potent tool in transforming the energy that surrounds them. In my observation, wind chimes are subjective. Most people adore their melodious tunes, but a few people dislike the sound. So the rule is, if you don't like it, don't use it. So there are other ways to activate energy or disperse negativity. But overall, wind chimes are easy and relatively inexpensive way to disperse negative or stagnant energy and bring more vitality and joy. In some Feng Shui books, they suggest hanging wind chimes inside of the house, in corners where energy is stagnant or in narrow, long hallways to disperse stagnation and revitalize energy. And once again, sorry, it's not going to work. A wind chime alone doesn't possess magical properties. It needs wind to move them to activate energy. Additionally, it looks strange and weird to hang things where they do not belong. If it looks out of place, it is not a good Feng Shui. As we already discussed, to achieve the desired effect, wind chimes must be made of hollow metal tubes. The use of wind chimes can be quite specialized. The number of rods matters if you are using a flying star system, for example. Without going to details, generally 6 rods are the best. The most appropriate way to use them is to hang them in your yard or garden or your porch if you have one. It's best to hang them not too close to windows or doors. If the wind is strong, the sound can be disturbing. If you feel a bit stagnant in your career or relationship or helpful people aspect, hang them in the north, southwest or northwest direction of your property. Alternatively, use your intuitive sense and hang them where your property needs some energy boost. In my opinion, the best wind chimes would have a metal top. The wood top will not last as long and will deteriorate. The ones with metal tops are more durable. My favorite wind chimes are Corinthian chimes. Their sound quality is exceptional and pure. They are made in the US, so they are pricey. Another good brand is Asterin. I will add a few links of my favorite crystals and wind chimes to the description box below. There are other chimes out there like bamboo or glass. They are nice decoration, but they do not produce a strong sound wave, so they cannot be used in Feng Shui for altering the energy. I hope this clarifies the use of faceted crystals and wind chimes, so you can use them now with greater clarity and intention. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Looking forward to seeing you again soon.